Hello, I'm Claire Franklin and welcome to Ensemble Playing 101, Episode 4, Markings. This episode is going to be about all of the extra information that you get on your music beyond just the actual notes. Let's start with some tempo markings. Your music may start with a metronome marking, like this example. This states that there are 92 crotchet beats per minute. So faster than a beat a second, but it's not massively fast. You may also have it in writing as well, probably in Italian or German. So something like lento would mean slowly, adagio, leisurely. Andante is at walking speed, and allegro is fast. Presto means very fast, but something like vivace means lively. That's more of a stylistic marking than a tempo marking. So you could have allegro e vivace, fast and lively. All of these tempo markings are a little bit vague. For example, andante at a walking pace is actually crotchet equals 76 to 108 beats per minute. It's quite a variety of tempi there, even within that one marking. Now, I refer back to my Handbook of Musical Knowledge by James Murray Brown, or sometimes the good old-fashioned red ABRSM Bible-sized books. That really helps me if there's something I'm not quite sure of. But a word of caution, your interpretation of andante might be different to the next person's interpretation of andante. So when you're playing in an ensemble, it's really important to remember that any Italian word about tempo just actually means watch the conductor. And now to some dynamics. Pianissimo means very quiet. Piano, quiet. Mezzo piano, medium quiet. Mezzo forte, medium loud. Forte, loud. And finally, double forte, or fortissimo, which means very loud. Music isn't normally just loud, or quiet, or somewhere in between. We have crescendos. It will look like this underneath your music, like a hairpin, an open-ended hairpin. That means crescendo, to get louder throughout the passage of music that the hairpin is written underneath. Or this, which means diminuendo, to get quieter throughout the passage of music. Now, a conductor will show a crescendo like this and a diminuendo like this. The combination forte piano, meaning you start the note really loudly, but immediately then you continue the note quietly. So it's energy at the beginning of the note rather than it being loud all the way through it. Let's look at some extra notational markings. This is not to be confused with a diminuendo. This is actually an accent, which means you zing or you attack the beginning of the note, whether that be with the string, a bit of extra oomph at the beginning of the note, or if you're a wind or a brass player, a bit of extra tongue to create some excitement to the beginning of the note. Now, a conductor may help you remember this by doing something like that or something like that to help you realise that's what you should be doing or to help you remember. A note with a dot underneath it is staccato, which means detached from its surrounding notes. It doesn't necessarily mean short, because you can actually have staccato semibreves that last for 4 long beats. But actually, so long as the note is detached from its surrounding notes, that's the most important thing. Now, in contrast to a staccato, we can have legato, which means broad, almost attached to its surrounding notes, but not quite. You're going to re-articulate, but make sure the note lasts as long as you can within the designated length. So here we've got a legato crotchet. It's going to last the entirety of that beat. To encourage you to do this, a conductor might do something like this, to encourage you to broaden your notes out. Not to be confused with this, which means get quieter. It's the sideways motion. Be aware, though, that all of these articulation markings are contextual. So an accent in, something modern like Stravinsky's Rite of Spring will be far more aggressive than an accent in a Haydn string quartet from the classical period. A tick between notes suggests this is a place you might want to breathe. A pause over a note, or to use its proper word, a fermata over a note, says to hold the note on longer. If you're playing at home on your own, you might want to say this note lasts for about 6 beats. Time and a half is the rule that we kind of work to. But in reality, when you're working in an ensemble setting, this symbol, this pause symbol, means watch the conductor and then they will bring you off when they think the note is as long as it needs to be. This marking between two notes is called a caesura, or tram lines, and it means the music stops and only resumes when the conductor is ready. When playing as part of a string section, you need to make sure that your bow is travelling in the same direction as your section leaders. They may tell you to write in the markings up bow or down bow into your music to make sure that everyone in the section is doing the same thing. If the composer wants a passage to be played by just one musician, it may be marked with a 1 with a little 0 next to it, or the word solo. The opposite of solo is tutti, everyone playing. Now sometimes you get this odd marking called soli, S-O-L-I, which means you get a whole section of musicians, all the trombones say, playing soloistically. Throughout your music you may find rehearsal marks that are either a number or a letter in a box or a circle. This is a really useful way of a musical director saying, let's go from a certain place, and all the musicians know exactly where to go from. Sometimes they'll call out a bar number. I hope this has been a really helpful video for you today. See you next time. Goodbye.